So I've just folded my paper into four, so we've got four little sections to warm up with. You can draw lines if you like, just to keep in the sections there. Go down to my first one. This camera lighting isn't always the greatest, so you'll see me adjusting it as we go. The first thing is we're not going to hold our pencil way down at the tip like when we're writing our names and things, because that makes really dark marks that are hard to erase. We want to pull our pencil out maybe 2 or 3 inches from our fingertips, and that way we can draw lighter lines. And we're going to start with some circles, basically like you're stirring your coffee, your soup, your hot chocolate. You're going to go around and around and then gently lower your pencil down. Go around 7 or 8 times. And we'll fill up this first section just with circles. You can overlap them, it doesn't matter. We're just trying to get the motion down. Big ones, small ones, all kinds. And some of them are going to come out like ovals, and some will be amoebas. That's okay. Just practicing holding your pencil at a proper distance, keeping your arm off the table.
The arm off the table?
Yep.
Okay.
And we're going to scoot on over to our second one here.
So what happened to Stephanie?
I don't know. You want to text her and see where she is? Maybe if I bug her too.
Oh, she says her home computer's not cooperating.
Uh-oh. She's having technical difficulties. Well, that's a fine how do you do. Invite you to an art class and not even show up, huh?
I know.
This time we're going to draw an oval. So I'm going to do that same motion, but we're just going to squash it down. Make a nice oval there. And I'll do another one. Hopefully the same size, but it probably won't end up being exactly the same. That's okay. We're just going to put another one down there. And we'll connect them up so that we can make a birthday cake. Let's take our eraser and erase out the part that we can't see inside there. And then of course we need some frosting in the middle. So I'm going to take this curve right here, and I'm going to try and make it again. Just about halfway down. And then one more time. You can color that in if you want, make it chocolate. And then we'll put just the letter U over and over and over to make a little rim of decorative frosting.
It's okay to have our finger on the table, right?
Yeah, now you can. It's just for circles. For some reason, it comes out smoother if you have your arm off the table for circles. Then we'll put a nice birthday candle on top by doing the same thing on a smaller scale. So I'm just going to do that oval again and put one right on the cake there. connect up the sides. And then erase everything on the inside that we can't see.
What was that?
Somebody.
That was Stephanie texting me.
Oh.
There she is. Let's let her in. Then to make it look a little bit more like a candle, we're going to stick a little wick right there. And then if you have room, you can stick in a little candle flame.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, there you are. You got your computer to work.
Yeah, the son of a gun. Yep. Hey, Julie.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Where's Kristen?
I'm running way behind her, and I'm also running out of paper.
It happens. Yeah, Kristen hasn't come up yet. I don't know if she's curled up with a book somewhere or doing what. Maybe out in her garden.
That's where I've been all day. I barely got in.
Yeah.
It's wonderful out there. We're doing our exercises here?
Yep, just doing a couple warm-ups.
Okay. Julie, I ran out of paper the other day and I had to draw my feet alongside the person we were drawing.
Well, I started up too high, so my candle's a little squashed.
Yeah, that's all right. That's why it's just practice. If you want to put this cake on a plate, all we have to do is put a bigger oval around the base. And there we go, lovely birthday cake.
Pretty good. Not
Yeah.
mine, but
All right, now we're going to draw a
Julie
wedge.
Julie just had a birthday yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Oh, I'm a day late. Well, there you go. There's your birthday cake. Happy belated birthday. Next, we're going to draw a wedge of cheese. So on the top here, I'm going to put a dot, and a dot, and then a dot. This is going to be the top of our cheese, and it's going to make a triangle when we connect up the dots. Something like that, kind of like a piece of pizza.
I made mine pointing different. Is that okay?
That's fine, yeah. And then we're going to take a line down from two of these dots that we can see on the side. Just straight down. Doesn't matter how tall you want your cheese to be. The only thing not to do is to make the bottom flat like this. Don't do this and go straight across the paper. We want to take this line and put it down here. So that means the same angle. So if you imagine this like a clock, this is maybe the minute hand at 10 minutes. I want to take this one and put it down there. To double check, you can take two of your pencils and put them on the lines and see if they're pointing in the same direction. If you have one pencil going like that, oh, you know you gotta straighten out your line. Or if you have a pencil going like that, nope, they gotta be pointed in the same direction.
Okay.
Now we're gonna make this Swiss cheese. We're gonna put some holes in it. We're gonna use those ovals like we were using before, except this time they're gonna be tall. And you can put, I don't know, maybe 3 of different sizes. But they won't look like holes until we put in a little bit of thickness and a little bit of shadow to show that it's dark inside that cheese. So I'm going to put like a little crescent moon, or you can think of it as another oval inside that first oval, and we'll darken in the part here. And now we've got a hole in our cheese. We'll do that to each and every one. Again, you can think of it like a crescent moon, or you can think of it as a smaller oval touching the side. And just color that sucker in. And then you're going to put one on the top. And the dark part is always going to be on the longer side, so this time I'm going to darken in on the bottom here. And then the big challenge, what if we had one of those air bubbles happen right on the wedge piece here? So we've got an oval touching the side. That means we're going to erase that line in the middle. But it'll look a little bit funny until we put in that thickness. I'm going to do that thickness again, but this time I'm not going to color in the dark spot, since this is just empty air now. There's a pretty nice hunk of cheese.
Hey, Betsy, look at mine. Something's wrong with it.
Something's wrong with it. Let's see. Let me go ahead and get your video up on my screen. Yes, I want you to put a pencil on this line and tell me if they're pointing in the same direction. The top of your cheese and the bottom of your cheese.
No, because I did that other line with the pencil.
That's right. So you just need to change one of your pencils until they're the same direction as the other one.
So I got to change my dot too, right?
Go ahead and keep your dots because those are the ones we did first.
Okay.
So the one on this pencil on the bottom, change it until it gets to the same direction, and then you can just take a third pencil and draw your line right on it. Like, use it like a ruler.
I'm going to lose my holes. Okay.
Lose your holes. Let's see. Hold it up again.
But that's okay. That's okay. Got it.
Sure? I don't think you should lose your holes. Maybe I didn't explain this right.
No, you did.
I did? Okay.
You did.
I'll go
Better already.
Let's see, how do I get mine back up? There we go. All right, so we got one more box over here. Now we're going to draw a little mouse to go with that cheese. I'm going to use my circles again and make this one for the rump, this one for the chest. And after I have my two circles, I'm just going to add a little curved line in between the two. We're going to connect this up into a sideways pear shape. And we can erase anything on the inside, don't need that anymore. And we'll add one more circle. That's going to be the head, and it's just going to lightly touch that pear shape. And we'll stick his nose up in the air like he's sniffing that cheese. So I'll put a point to turn that circle into a raindrop. And same thing, I'm going to connect this head into the body with just a little curved line right there. And another little curved line on the other side to make the neck. And we'll erase everything in the middle. And for the nose, I'm going to give you two options here. One option is that you can just color in the tip, like that, and that becomes the nose. The other one is you can put another raindrop on top, and it gets like a Mickey Mouse nose. Whichever one you want. And then we'll put a curved line for the mouth. Happy to be smelling that cheese.
Oh, that's all.
And then we'll put a little letter U for a little closed eye there. And a couple more raindrop shapes. This time the point is going to point toward the head, and then the rounded part is going to be up. And there'll be another one tucked behind so we can only see a tiny bit of it.
Got one part too narrow.
And we'll add some teeth. Just some little rectangles sticking out. One skinny one and one a little bit thicker.
I like that.
All right, isn't that cute? Well, it's cute until you find them in your pantry, right? And getting into things they shouldn't be.
Oh, I had one for my grandchild here, though.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Those are a heck of teeth, though, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I think our mouse turned into a rat, but that's
I might be thinking different if I saw that sucker.
Then I'm out of paper, as you can see, so my tail's probably going to go right off the paper. That's okay. It happens sometimes. Whoops, I'm making a rat. If you want a rat, make a thick tail, and if you want a mouse, make a thin tail.
I thought it was like the length, like a rat's tail is like about the size of its body. And the mouse tail is shorter.
I haven't researched rodents all that much, so I'll take your word for it.
Rats' tails are thicker. They look more like big earthworms.
Oh.
So you do got to make it thicker. I used to raise rats when I was yep, much to my poor mother's horror.
And then our guy needs some legs. So for the back leg, we're going to take a big letter C. And stick it in right there. And then we'll add a little pink foot with a couple of straight lines coming down this way. Almost like a check mark. This short part is where we'll put some little rodent toes. Let me zoom in on there so you can see it a little easier. What are they? They're just really, really squashed C's. The letter C. Maybe not quite a letter C, but a curve. And then we'll just bring that right back up. And there's one foot. Then the other foot, we're not going to be able to see the large C part. We'll only see the foot sticking out the back, and we're going to pretend this is taking a step. So instead of having the toes down, we're going to flip the toes up a little bit. We'll zoom in on that again. There's the one toe, 2, 3.
It's kind of silly. Mine, anyway.
Love it. I loves it. I'm going to put toenails on mine.
Okay, go for it. Then for the front legs, we're going to have this one going to the back. With just a long line that way until it gets it to about the same level. And then we'll put our little toes. Then we're going to do a little reverse curve on the back of the leg here. So that's like his fur sticking out. And we'll erase the body lines there. And then for the front foot on the other side, we'll be taking a step, so this one will go forward. There's little toes in the air. And then we'll do that same double curve on the other side so that we get a little point for the fur.
Oh, wait, what class is it today?
Today is anatomy. If you want to connect your two images up, you can have some wafting lines of cheesy deliciousness.
Well, since mine is lower, it's going to have to descend.
Yeah, if your cheese is down here, let's say, you can have the scent coming up that way, wherever the cheese is. If it's up here, it can come down that way.
Yeah, look.
Surrounded by cheese.
I do it. I didn't know, but it was pretty close to the cheese, so I made it going up.
Ah, there you go.
It's fun, Betsy.
That looks cute.
All right, warm-up's complete. Good job.
Yay.
So now on to the harder stuff.
Are we done with our warrior gal?
I wasn't quite sure what to do because Kristen's not here. Julie doesn't have.
Yeah, Julie doesn't start. Yeah.
We might just review the muscle groups this week since we only have half an hour. I think we'll go ahead and do that. since review is all good. So I've got a new piece of paper.
So Julie, here's one anatomy thing we did.
Oh, let me switch.
Oh, yeah.
And then where's the gal? Did you see the lions, Julie?
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Neat.
Michaela, you show her. Oh, so Michaela does it on a digital thing, computer.
Yeah.
What's it called? What's it called, Michaela?
It's called a Wacom tablet.
Wacom tablet.
Wacom tablet, yeah.
They have them at the art place, but Nico could do it better than me. I didn't get into it. You draw in layers. Where's
Yeah.
my warrior?
Yeah, this is little warrior characters from a video game. We're going to go ahead and draw him. He's close to regular people size. His head's just a little larger than what you'd find in real life. But we're going to go ahead and start with a circle about the size of a quarter, pretty much near the top of your paper, maybe an inch or a half inch down. And then you're going to give yourself a guideline for where you want the feet to end. So let's say I want about a half an inch on the bottom.
Should we be in the middle of the page? Probably, huh?
Sure, if you want to. And what's great about most human figures is that smack dab in the middle is where the legs connect to the body, your hip joints. So I can take this general length from the top of the head to the bottom and cut it in half, and that's how long the body will be. Now we could grab our ruler and la-di-da, but I don't like doing that, so I just eyeball it. And I take a guess, and I go, I think that's about halfway. Then the way I'm going to double check is I'm just going to place my pencil point on the line right there. And I'm going to use my fingers to pinch right at the bottom of that other line. And I'm going to see if they're generally the same size. Whoops, my pencil tip is now going past that line. This needs to be one a bit bigger. So I'll lower my line a bit.
My line was perfect.
Woo! That's when, yeah, you give yourself a pat on the shoulder and you go,
Yeah, that's also a first.
Sometimes I'm really good. Yeah.
So we measure to the top of the head? Yeah.
Yep, to the top of the head. Doesn't have to be perfect. If you're like within, a millimeter or two, maybe the pencil lead, is a little off, that's okay. It's just a generalization. So now we know that everything below this line is going to be legs. And everything above this line is going to be body. So I'm going to start with just like a little stick man and have a line coming down until it gets to that middle line.
Hello.
And then I'm going to leave maybe about an inch, a little inch and a half of that line there for the width of the hips. And then I'll bring down some leg lines. And they're just going to be just like his, just kind of standing at an angle, kind of the letter A. This is light and loose and sketchy because we're going to erase it later. And we're going to come up, take a look at this circle here. We can give him a chin since his head obviously isn't a circle. Our circle is basically the bottom of his nose to almost the top of his hair, right in there. So we're going to add on just a little bit of chin.
Hi, Mom.
Okay.
Kind of like we were adding that bit on the wrap before. And we actually know the bottom of the circle is where his nose ends, so you can put a little mark there to say that's where the nose is going to go. You may have to grab a sharper pencil. We're getting into some little detaily bits here. The mouth is going to be a little bit closer to the nose and a little bit farther away from the chin. Then when I'm looking at my original circle, just the circle, not the chin, I'm going to cut that in half lightly, because I'm going to erase it later. And I'm also going to cut it in half vertically. So this center line should go through the middle of the nose and the middle of the mouth. If it doesn't, go ahead and adjust it. Or adjust your nose and mouth, not the line.
Maria.
What was that?
I got a phone call coming in. I'm just gonna let it go into voicemail.
Okay, no problem. Then we're going to go ahead and add some eyebrows. And what's interesting is that your nose actually goes up and connects right to your eyebrows. So you can really lightly, we're going to erase it later, you can very lightly go straight up from that nose and right into an eyebrow. He's looking a little bit mad in this drawing near here, but I'm just going to make regular eyebrows. It doesn't have to look like him. We're just reviewing. Then you can erase those lines because we don't need them anymore. And he's an elfish sort of guy. He's got pointy ears, so we're going to start a little bit below the eyebrows and come into points. And then go down maybe to the nose, maybe the bottom of the circle, a little higher, in that general area.
Betsy, this is face on, right? So we don't have to worry about one side
Correct.
being...
Correct. And then we'll put
What are your
some
birds in the background?
Oh, that's my canary. That's Opie.
Ah, Opie.
Oh,
Opie, yeah, he's a red canary, and he's being pretty quiet right now, and I think it's because I'm right here at the table.
Oh.
So when I'm not so close to him, he goes crazy.
I know, mine are quiet today. We should have a canary concert. There it'll go. Boy, it's hard to do the left ear.
Yeah, one side will always be easier than the other. Even on mine, you can see one's kind of skinny, one's kind of fat.
Yeah.
Trying to get them the same, that's always a challenge.
Happened to me, my one side is skinnier than the other. And one looks furry.
Yeah, when your pencil lines get a little out of control, you can start to worry. So for the eye, I've got one tiny little straight line by the nose and then a curve that doesn't get as big as the eyebrow. You want the eyebrow to be a little bit longer. We're going to do that on both sides. Another challenge.
It's okay, watchdog.
He's got eyes that angle upward. So I'll have a short line over here and then connect it up on the bottom. And we'll go ahead and put in just a half of a circle on both sides. If you're having trouble getting them to look the same, you can also think of it as making the triangles of the eye whites instead of the circle itself. And whatever's left over will be the circle.
I think I should have made my head bigger.
Yeah, if it's getting too difficult to put in the details.
Oh yeah, pretty much after you left, they like immediately opened my door and like came in.
Oh, I thought you were sorry to us.
Yeah,
But yeah, you can
fine.
do the eyes less detailed if it's getting too hard to get in there.
Betsy, show Julie the eraser.
Oh, this is a kneading eraser. It's kind of like, it's smushy, like clay.
Yeah.
But then you can shape it into tiny points if you need to erase something that's in a tight corner. So that makes it handy.
Thanks.
I'm just using this kind of eraser.
Yeah, that's fine. I have some of those too. Yeah, that's a good brand. I use that one a lot.
My husband's an accountant, so.
Oh, he knows about erasers. So now I've got a pretty good looking head on sticks. So we're going to add a neck, and if you're not sure how wide to make the neck, you can go down from the eyes. This is a starting point. You go, oh, does that look too skinny? If it looks too skinny, just put the lines out a little farther. Then we're going to give ourselves a tiny little letter U for the pit of the neck, or the beginning of the collarbone. Then we're going to sketch a little curve, lightly, because we'll probably erase it later. And from the end of that curve, we'll go diagonally back up into the neck. Then we're going to bulk up the body a little bit by making a general rectangle. And it should be about the same on each side from our center line. Actually, he has pretty broad shoulders. You can make the top of the rectangle a little bit wider.
There he goes. Got used to me sitting here.
And in one hand, he has this shield blocking most of his body. So we're going to go ahead and stick that in as a large oval.
Shh. Shh. No, Petey.
And erase anything on the inside.
Isn't that cool how it just pops out all of a sudden, Julie?
Yeah, sort of.
When you erase stuff, it's like, oh.
Yeah, it just pops to the front, huh?
Huh?
Then we're going to add some thickness, just like we did with the birthday cake and the cheese, except instead of drawing the oval on the inside or the crescent moon on the inside, we're going to draw the crescent moon on the outside. I'm going to follow my curve all the way around my shield. And then once again, erase anything on the inside. And we'll put one more oval in the middle for this little golden piece there.
Is that off center kind of to the right, huh, Betsy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So for this arm holding the shield, all we can really see is his sleeve. So from his body, we'll just put a line that goes long and then short. Again, just kind of like a check mark. And we'll have another sleeve on the other side, and I'm going to try to make it about the same length. If it helps, you can just draw a line straight through those angles.
Come on, boy, come on. Come here, come here. Come here, come here. There he is, good boy.
Ooh, that helped. I was way off.
I have a real small head.
That'll make him look taller. It's a good thing.
Yeah, you got to put hair on it yet, Julie. It grows with the hair.
Oh yeah, let's put some hair on him. Let's zoom in. Can't have a basketball head forever here. Let me get rid of that. He's got a lot of hair all over the place, but they're basically in big sections. So we're going to go ahead and start with this V, or this spike right here that comes right above his eyebrow. Oops, I didn't place that right. So right above his eyebrow, I'll put that angle. And I'm going to think of really skinny raindrops, rounded on the top and then pointy at the bottom. I'm going to stick 2 little raindrops there.
Calm down.
Then we've got another V over, or another peak over this eyebrow. So I'll do that again. Oh, whoops. This middle one should be thicker. It's also a part of that angle there. I'll stick in another raindrop. And we'll just keep doing that until we fill up this front section. You don't have to copy the reference image exactly. Just make sure that you don't draw 2 of these raindrops exactly the same. Then it starts looking a little bit repetitive, a little bit clunky.
Yeah, Link, he feels really wonky. But I think it's like the way, I don't know, like, I feel like I could draw him better on my own, but like, the way he is right now, he looks very, very wonky.
Yeah, it happens. And from the eye on the right side here, I'm going to go straight up to the top of my circle. And we're going to start this part here where there's a big lump on that side and kind of a littler lump on that side. You can add a few flick marks if you want, some hair going that way, some hair going that way, or you can just leave it as a big shape, that's fine too.
Mine looks funny.
Yeah, sometimes the hair will get too big or too small.
But it made your head bigger, huh, Julie?
It made my head bigger.
Bigger his hair bigger.
He's also got a little bit of hair that comes in front of his ears. So you can draw them like leaf shapes, or you can do those skinny raindrops. Both of them look good. Oh, we just have about 10 minutes left, so we're probably not going to get to the legs. I'm just going to erase those. Sometimes we run out of time.
Just erase legs.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to have time to get to that. We'll probably just finish up his arms, and we'll have to call it a day.
Julie, you can take a picture of the screen if you want, and then finish it up if you want later.
I can back it up there if you guys want to try on your own. So this arm that's coming down this way, we're going to give ourselves just a guideline, just a stick coming downward. And you can see his hand goes almost to the bottom of his shield. So I'm just going to put a little oval that's going to represent his hand, and the rest is on a stick. His elbow is going to be not too much farther out from his sleeve, so maybe about there is where his elbow is. And then we'll come around. Oh, we lost Julie.
Uh-oh, how'd that happen?
I don't know, I've never had it disconnect on me. There she is.
We lost you for a minute, Julie.
Yeah, Ted said we lost internet. So
Oh.
I thought we were all done. I was texting you that I guess it's over. Yeah,
Oh no.
Ted, I'm back on. Yeah, it was like a hiccup. I saw the,
It was nice that you didn't have to all sign back in again.
yeah, I was clicking out because I thought it was over because I thought Zoom was only 40 minutes anyway. And I looked at the time. I said, well, anyway.
Our next class is an hour and a half, and it never bumps out.
No, we have like the upgraded subscription since
Oh.
we're doing longer art classes. Yeah.
Yeah, because I do Zoom with my daughter. We do, my two daughters, and we do Scrabble. We only have 40 minutes, so we just keep logging in and out.
Oh yeah. So I've got this shape for the lower arm, and then we're going to do just a couple of little zigzags for the crinkles in his shirt. I'll zoom in on that too so you can see a little better. And then he wears like a gauntlet, so I'll have a curved line on his gauntlet here. And then before we draw the hand, we're going to draw the sword. And when we think of sword, we think long lines, but because this is coming toward us, it's just like my pencil right now is long, but if I bring my pencil toward you, it doesn't take up as much space on the paper, right? So when anything comes toward you, it takes up less space, it gets shorter. So his sword is also getting shorter as it comes toward us. So we only need a very short line. Maybe about an inch. It's going to go right through that oval that we placed as his hand. And this sword has a guard right there. I'm going to add just a rectangle, a skinny rectangle. Just near the top of the hand there. If your line is looking too short, you can bring it out a little bit more. I'm kind of at the edge of my paper here, so I can go out to there. And then we're going to do a point right at the tip of that sword, just like an arrow. And then we'll bring it back down right to that guard. Then for his hand, we can't actually see that much, so that's good. We don't actually have to draw that much. We're going to do the letter J for a thumb. And then another little bump right here. The rest of his hand. And then the rest of his fingers will be wrapping around this way. This little curves. 1, 2, 3. Probably can't see his pinky. And then I'll add a tiny little rectangle behind his hand to show the sword handle coming out the back. And color that in so you can tell it's not a finger. There's about 4 more minutes left, so we'll just do his shirt collar and I think call it a day. So he's got a more square shirt collar. I'm going to bring 2 lines down that way and connect them across.
Who is this guy?
His name is Link. He's in video games.
I recognized him, but I didn't know who he was, so that way I could look him up if I wanted.
What was the last thing you did?
Sorry.
I did just this part right here.
Oh,
And then we're
So
going to
we
go ahead and end. His shirt also ends in a square, his tunic. So we can end it right by the shield there.
Oh, is that a doll?
A doll? This
Or
one?
like an action figure? Yeah.
It might be. It looks pretty 3D. It might be a computer model though, I'm not sure.
What did you do with his thing? His shirt?
His shirt, I just ended it right here.
Oh, okay.
You can curve it a little more if you don't want it to look so much like a piece of cardboard. You can give it a little flow, curve it. And there's a bunch of intricate white designs, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to do a couple of stripes to finish it off here. Put a stripe on both of his sleeves. And a stripe at the bottom here. 2 little lines. And then we'll simplify this collar pattern by just following it to the middle and then adding a point. So my stripe will go zigzagging and then down into a V. $4.59. There we go. Not bad.
Good girl, Betsy.
Then we sign our work, And today is May 20th, right? Yeah, 20th, 20th.
Okay, what is next class?
Story art.
Story. Oh, right.
Backgrounds.
Okay, I'm just telling you right now, I didn't get my homework done.
Me neither. So we'll use class time to catch up on that.
Oh, I like.
Did you get that, Jen? Oh, it said toll free, forget it.
That's at my house too.
It's a rate 800 number.
Thank you very much for joining me today. I'm going
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I'll see you in a minute when I sign off and sign back in, Betsy.
All right, sounds good.
Oh, wait, should we show everybody this stuff?
Oh, sure. Highlight
show it?
Yes.
I don't know if you see it.
Well, let me switch over my camera here.
Oh, good job, Julie.
Hey, and you said you were an artist.
Well, the head is really tiny and it looks alien.
He's an elf. He's an elf.
Oh,
Yeah, it looks weird.
good job on the sword, though. That's good.
Well, thank you very much for letting me join.
You're very welcome.
Are you going to do the next class, Julie?
I can do the beginner class, but I don't know. You know, I probably won't do the second class because I have things to do anyway, and my dogs.
I know.
Yeah, I should have fed. Yeah, they're out there in the dog run right now,
Okay.
and I have this wood all piled up because I'm cleaning the wood pile, and I put them in the dog run so they would knock into the wood and kill themselves.
I've been fighting a tortoise all day. He's been knocking things all over while I'm trying to work out.
Yeah. So, well, thank you very much. I
You're very
appreciate it.
welcome.
Yeah, I'd like to do. Yeah, I thought that was interesting when you first showed that picture. I thought, there's no way.
There's no way.
There's no way I can do that, you know?
And then you look at it tomorrow or sometime you go glance by and you go, I did that. Dang.
Yeah.
They're all classes Betsy teaches. It's not like beginners, intermediate, or advanced, Julie. It's just different different
methods, subjects.
Yeah, just different things to draw. Like what we're doing is background in the next class. And she can walk, this girl's good. She can walk you through anything.
Yeah.
Don't pressure, Stephanie. Next time.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed it.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.